Hi, I'm Larch Lyrics. I'm here at Patchwerks. So now we're going to talk about my system and how I do things and some of the tricks I do and what makes my setup, which is my favorite part about modular is every system is unique and you can bring to the table what you want. So the first thing I want to talk about is this Proc drums and Sweet 16 combo because I feel like it's a huge part of how I do things. On these first, so you have 8 banks right here of drum patterns, and on the first 3 I have like actual kits and just regular beats going. But on the bottom 4 I have just like these fills that are just stuff like that. But what's great about it is while I'm playing I could just It's like one of my little tricks for, being able to do fills and have like solid continuous drums while doing modular. And I also have these uh the div kit mutes right next to it too. So anytime if I want to drop anything, it's just flicking a switch. So moving after that, I also run them into this prism filter, and a lot of the modules you see that I have that are upside down, they're upside down because I feel like it really adds to, it helps the playability of it for a lot of things. My bottom row is the things that I'm most focused on when I'm performing, so I try to make everything as comfortable as possible. I know, especially with the performer, I like it upside down because I could turn the knob and hit a button at the same time. And I feel like you can't really do that when it's the other way with one hand. Next thing I want to talk about is these proc drums in my samples go into this prism filter, and the reason for that is I'm a huge fan of making stuff so for like doing transitions, I like to cover something up with something else so I could move in and out of stuff, and it seems super clean. So say I have this drum beat going, we'll make it a bigger one. I could and swipe down with the filter and come back into a different part, and it's always like a super easy segue. The Sweet 16 is also triggering some samples too from the Bitbox. It has 16 tracks, so it is just such a great module, and I feel like I don't really see it out in the wild as much as I should. So another thing I want to talk about is a huge part of modular for me is DIY builds. That's like one of my favorite parts about it. I love tinkering and just like learning stuff. So and I feel like I get another satisfaction out of a module when I built it, and especially when I built it and it doesn't work, and really have to figure that out. So the Hydronium is this baseline module that I feel is super unique. They say it's not a 303 clone, but it has that same feel, and it's just that super acid sound, this resonance, just real crunchy bass sounds. And one of the cool things about it is it has this effects send and return, and normally I run it to some sort of overdrive or something because the return comes back in before the VCA, so you can cut out like a lot of unwanted noise because the envelope will close at the same time. So in this case, I actually ran it into the Mutable Instruments Veils, and I ran the send into the like the voltage input, and then I ran it right back out. And the reason I did that is so you can hear. So this just makes it from linear to an exponential. Let's put a little more resonance on there. Like the harshness of that, just like. So that's it. This is it with it linear, and this is it with it exponential. Super beefy, and that's definitely how I like my bass sounds. I am a huge fan of, I will take sliders over knobs any day, and these Navigators by Acid Rain Technology are one of my favorite things. And besides like just the playabilities of sliders, one thing I really love about these guys is, so I'm using them to control the harmony on the Afterlater Audio Beehive. And what's great about it is the bottom jack on the Navigator is only 0 to plus 5 volts. So I could set the harmony at like whatever I want the minimum to, and then when I go up with it, it'll go to the top, but when it comes back, it stops where I have the module set at it, and I think that is just super handy. So it stops where I want it to when it comes back down. And the other slider is controlling the crush on the DSP, so it just adds a nice little like effect. Gotta have some of that modular craziness in there to, kind of just fill out like my mids. The last thing I want to talk about is this Cosmic mixer, because it has just a beautiful drive on it that I feel really is like a huge part of my sound. It just beefs everything up, and it's just a great mixer. And all of my modular systems, like no matter what I put in a case and take out, I always have the Performer last, just because like its name, I think it is a wonderful performance tool. I love doing the tape stop into like next parts, because it'll cut my whole system, so it makes for a super solid drop, which I feel like is a really hard thing to do in modular sometimes, unless you have something that will smoothly cut everything out and let you go into a next part. And I think the Performer is perfect for that. Same with the glitch. I'll do the same thing, or one of my favorite little tricks is I do the glitch into a tape stop to like go into a next part. So you could do something like a bad representation of it, but yeah. So I'm Larch Lyrics. I have an Instagram that you could follow. That's where I post most of my things. I have a SoundCloud from there where you could check out a live performance I did that I had mastered. And I'm at Patchwerks, which is a super great place. Thank you guys for having me here to do this. I much appreciate it. I live in the Seattle store area, and I come here all the time. It's a great shop, great people. Come check it out.